Hi everyone. So finally we are back into our second lecture of probability. Okay, so finally the wait is over as we have promised that I'm going to conduct second session on probability. So to conduct one session on probability, I need to invest at least 3 to 4 hours. Okay, before the session. So I think many of you might have enjoyed the very first session on probability and you understood that how to construct sample space, what kind of sample spaces are there, right? There are a couple of kind of sample spaces there and so yeah, good evening guys. So this is going to be a second session on probability and you can see here uh, what is the role of probability theory. That first of all we have to understand, then we will continue our session, right? So we are going to talk about today the events, okay, the various kinds of event in fact we will discuss, and we will also solve some problem also, right? So yeah, so please join fast so that we can start the session. So this will be the second session and you're going to learn many things, okay? So yes, I hope everybody is doing well and this is, you can say, kind of gift in this Diwali that I'm offering all these courses online for completely, you can say, high content sessions are being offered, right? So yes, fine. So let's begin the session here, guys. So as you can see here, this will be lecture number 2, okay? And as you know all, I'm Dheeraj and I'm your chief mentor for probability and statistics as well as linear algebra as well as calculus, right? And I'm the chief mentor for electronics and communication, electrical engineering, computer science, data science and AI, okay, and instrumentation as well, obviously, right? So those who are live right now, they can hit the like button as well as they can send hi so that I will come to know. Yes, so you can see here the role of probability theory is what, why we are studying probability theory. That is very important to understand. So I gave one statement in the last session was what, if you want to yes, we will study probability theory without formula. Yes, that is the whole objective of these sessions to be conducted. So you can understand this idea first, right? Don't keep in mind that, okay, you are preparing for GATE, that's why you are studying probability. You have to first develop a kind of initial belief that, yeah, something is going to happen in your life, okay? Irrespective of what was in the past, right? What future is going to be, see, and we have the limited knowledge, right? If we have a limited knowledge, so definitely if we want to measure the uncertainty, right, if we want to measure some uncertainty things, right, suppose something is uncertain in your life, so why something is uncertain? Because we have a limited knowledge. If we are extraordinary people, so we need not to talk about probability, right? So there should be some uncertainty, so probability plays an important role over there. So you can see here, this is kind of a framework, okay? So probability theory is nothing but a framework, for analyzing phenomena with uncertain outcomes, okay? So it is basically a rules for consistent reasoning, okay, and use of prediction and decision, okay? So you have got a real world, right? Like we are living in a real world, okay? It's not a fictitious world. Keep in mind this, okay? uh, Everything is real around us. Now we have to fetch data from the real world, right? And then we have got the data, okay, and then we are going to do some sort of statistics, right? So statistics will be taught after probability only, right? So don't worry about that. So we pick up data from the real world and we have got the we will do some sort of statistics, right? You know that data is used in the world, right? So we can talk about some major of center tendencies, like we can talk about mean, we can talk about average, we can talk about median. As we know that suppose placement is going on in ISC or IITs, nobody talks about actual, actual CTC, right? People always talk about median, right? Median CTC or average CTC that the college is offering, so you have to understand that, right? So nobody talks about those things. So we will do some sort of statistics and then we will model, okay, we will model the data and we will try to understand using we will try to do the probability theory here, okay, for analysis purpose, and then we will back again, right? So this is not you can say one way process. We are starting from the real world, again we are getting back to the real world, right? So we are in the loop only, right? In the life there is a loop, you can say, okay? So we start from the real world and again we go back to real world, okay? Because after all, whatever data we have got, right? Whatever preparation you have done, now you can predict your future results, right? So using probability theory. And as you know that events are binary, right? Whether you might get success, you might get failure, right? So whatever events you're going to study are binary in nature, right? Two things are there, okay? Just like a Bernoulli trials, okay? In future we will talk about Bernoulli trials, okay, where success and failure is there. So you see here, guys, if you want to make decisions, okay, if you want to do something good in life, you need to understand this probability theory, right? So please note down this, okay? Please remember this, and somewhere this you can say this snapshot I have taken. So this snapshot I have taken from some very good standard source, okay, that I will talk later, right? Okay, so last time we have discussed about this sample space, guys, okay. I think many of you can see the examples of sample space. I discussed about two kind of sample space was there. One was nothing but a discrete sample space, and second was continuous sample space, right? Continuous sample space, okay. So you can see the very first, what is the meaning of sample space? Sample space is nothing but the, you can say, is the set of all possible outcomes of an experiment, right? Suppose you have got a coin, and if you're going to flip the coin, so you're going to get two things, okay, two outcomes, that is going to be head or tail. So we use the set representation, you know, to write these outcomes and all. So collection of all possible outcomes are going to be a sample space, right? So if you have got two coins, so you are going to get ordered pair, right? Outcome will be considered as ordered pair. What is the meaning of ordered pair, guys? Always remember ordered pair. You know how do we write ordered pair? Ordered pair is nothing but like x comma by, okay, or you can say by comma x. Okay. So here these two are not equal, remember, okay. This is very important to keep in mind. Okay, x comma by is known as ordered pair, right? And they are not equal if you're switching by and x position, right? So please remember, suppose head and tail you got, then tail and head both are different outcomes, right? Please remember this, okay. So this is basically, so I'm considering this ordered pair as single element in the sample space. That is very important, okay. Please remember this, okay. So you can see here, guys, once we will flip the two coins, we are going to get head tail head and tail. So these kind of sample space you can easily write with the help of sequential description, right? I gave you one tool which was very important tool, that was known as tree diagram. In fact, tree diagram simplifies a lot of things, okay. I was talking with one of the student, you know, he is solving problem on DSA, and also he always used tree diagram to understand the flow, right? So divide and conquer rule is one of the very important thing that you have to understand, okay. So you can solve the problem. Now roll of six-sided die, okay. So this is, again, there will be six outcomes. This is the standard die that I'm talking about, 1 to 6. These are the collection of outcomes you can get, right? So here I'm going to consider this is single outcome, this is single outcome, this is single, okay. And these are the ordered pair, right? Understood? Ordered pair. Now we will talk about these are the examples of continuous sample space. Number of emails you receive in a day. So in a day, you can receive n number of emails, right? We are not sure about that, right? As you can see, if you visit certain websites, so if you have subscribed something, they will keep on sending you mails, right? You can see Zomato, Swiggy, Amazon, Flipkart, you know, Myntra, all the whatever, wherever we have subscribed something, right, whatever we have ordered, right, they will be all the time disturbing you with their mails, right? So that you can make again a good mood to buy theirs. Okay. And YouTube hours in a day, this is one of the latest example that we can talk about. Many people are wasting their time on different YouTube channels, okay, and they're learning probability, linear algebra, so many things, but they are just wasting their time. They are not learning anything out of that, right? That you can understand, okay. So because learning formula is not a right learning, right? You will not be able to solve any problem in future, right? That is the main thing, okay. So you have to be understanding in general way, right? So you have to get the generalized understanding to solve any problem. Okay. In fact, right now I'm getting some mails, okay, from different websites. Okay. Now, after sample space, I talked about what? We were interested to understand what is the probability, right? And for what we calculate probability, right? So probability of the event we always compute, right? So we will now try to define what is event. Event is nothing but a sample, subset of the sample space. You have got a playground, okay, and one event has to happen in that playground, you can say, right? So that is going to be the sample space. So event is nothing but what? The subset of sample space, right? So subset of sample space is nothing but event. You can say an event is some subset of S that we ascribe meaning to what? In set theory we write like this, okay? You can see here, okay, event is a subset of sample space, okay? So can we take some example of events? Someone is going to ask you what are the examples. So you can give example of real life, okay? Always take the example of real life, guys. That is very important, okay? So I must suggest कि जैसे coin flip is, you know, suppose you're going to get head, so that is one event, right? What is the probability of getting head, right? At least one head on two coins, okay? Flip, right? So at least one head means what? One head should be there, then there can be two head, okay? Not more than two head then, right? Because you're tossing only two coins, right? Or you're flipping two coins. You're going to see their TT gone, because in TT there is no so these things also will be mapped to random variable, okay? We will talk about random variable so in future, right? So you have to understand this event properly. Roll of die in 3 or less. So if you're going to roll die, okay, and what is the probability of getting 3 or exactly 3 or less than 3? So 1 2 3 are the outcomes, right? Okay, and this is again one event. So you can see 1 2 3 is a subset of sample space, right? Subset of sample space. Sample space is a set, right? Well defined set, you can say. Well defined set, okay? Collection of all outcomes. And then you see these are the set only, but we call it sample space, right? Subset of the sample space, okay? Suppose somebody is asking that you receive less than 20 emails in a day, okay? See, if someone is going to talk about number of emails you receive in a day, so many emails you can receive in a day, right? That is entire collection of all outcomes, right? But if someone is going to ask you some specific, numbers, right? Like you receive less than 20 emails in a day, how we are going to write this as an event? So we are going to use the set representation. We call it set builder form, right? Set builder form, okay? Set builder form, you know that there are two kind of sets representation. One is roster form and one is set builder form. In case of roster form, simply what we do, we take elements and we put comma, they are separated by commas and then curly brackets, right? Now those roster form can be written also in terms of what? Set builder form, right? We can talk about some properties of them, right? Like suppose number is there, so suppose number is natural number or even number, odd number, whatever, we can write them in English, right? That's it. So you receive less, so this is what you see, x should be the integer and x should lie between 0 to 20, right? So this is one event, you can say, right? One event, right? So event, we can describe event that to continuous sample space or we can talk about event, those are continuous, right? How? With the help of some inequalities, right? Inequality we are using here, you can see here we have used less than or equal to, or less than or greater than or equal to, okay, all these things. Now wasted day, okay, greater than 5 YouTube hours, right? So basically if you're spending your time, matlab 5 hours you are spending on YouTube, okay, on a, you can say, obsolete content, those contents are outdated. आप लोग क्या करते हो बेसिकली कि जैसे कोई कंटेंट आप पढ़ते हो, राइट? तो आप लोग किसी का 50 लेक्चर उसमें डाला है तो आपको लगता है बस यही है सब कुछ, नो, ठीक है? So you are wasting your time. Now you can see I'm giving you the event example, right? So greater than 5 hours, so that you can show like this, you see here, okay? So there are 24 hours and you are going to spend how many hours? 5 hours, okay, to waste your time. So events can be basically represented with the capital letter. You can say E or F. Okay, no problem. So I think this is clear for all. How many of you understood this, guys? Sample space and events. What are the difference between them in terms of, as we can see here, sample space or discrete sample space, continuous sample space. So we have described here discrete event, or continuous event as well, right? Okay, they are subset of everything. So remember that. Fine. So, yeah, let's move ahead. So, I think this is clear for all, right? How many of you understood this idea? Please respond so that we can move ahead. Okay. So, guys, basically, you have to understand these points, okay? And we have to also discuss about the measure of uncertainty, right? So, it is very tempting to, think of probability as representing some natural randomness in the world, right? Some natural randomness, right? Okay. But nothing, perhaps the word is not random. Please remember, nothing is random, okay? But we think that, okay, we are just computing uh, probability just for the sake of randomness, right? That you have to keep in mind. So what you can do here is basically what is the main reason behind we learn probability that you have to understand is we have the limited knowledge, right? Limited knowledge we have, that's why we compute probability, okay? That is the main reason we compute probability, right? See, if you have full knowledge, okay, so then why you will come to Dheeraj sir and learn probability, right? So that is the main thing. So suppose many scientists they predict, okay, tomorrow is going to rain, okay, so if those scientists know about each particle, or you can say each molecule of the water, you can say, right? So they can easily predict, okay, certainly there will be a rain, okay? They don't have to find probability or something, they can say yes, but they always predict something because they don't have full knowledge, they have some limited knowledge, right? And these are the things that you have to always keep in mind, okay? Fine. So basically there will be what we will learn about axioms of probability. What? Axioms of probability, okay? Now many people might not be familiar with this. What is the meaning of axioms of probability? Why we learn this, right? What is the meaning of axioms? Can somebody tell me what is the meaning of axioms before we start understanding what are those axioms and who has given these important facts, right? Which you have to start believing on them, right? See, if you will not develop belief that whatever points I'm going to tell you now, you will never understand probability. Please remember. So these axioms are basically you have to believe on these things, right? Okay, these are, you can say, some basic truth, okay, about probabilities, okay? Some basic truth, you can say, in my language, some basic truths, okay? Some basic truth you have to believe, right? Yeah, these are the things. Yes. So if you understand these 3 points, whatever points I'm going to tell you, right, entire probability theory will be easy for you, right? All the formulas which you learn in future, right, though I don't call them formula, they are just generalized understanding of something, right? Some situation, but you have to understand that these are the basic truth that you have to believe. Yes. ओके जैसे आप मेरा सेशन अटेंड कर रहे हो तो you have to develop one belief that yeah, Dheeraj sir is going to teach me and certainly he is going to give me something which is extraordinary content, right? तो आपको believe तो करना पड़ेगा ना. Axioms of probability is nothing but these are some you can say some basic truth about probability that we accept as axioms, right? Okay, about probabilities, okay, that we accept as axioms, right? I hope this makes sense, right? So what are they? That we have to understand. What are they? So I'll talk about them, right? So the very first is going to be what? The very first axioms, right? Fine. So the very first axiom is nothing but You can say here, suppose we have got a sample space. This is nothing but a sample space, and one event is there. You can say A is the event, right? Okay, one is the event. You can say that the first is nothing but what? The probability of A should be always greater than 0. This is the very first axiom that you have to believe. Don't ask me why, okay? Because one of the guy was there. He gave 3 axioms, right? Basically, his name was okay. His name was what? His name was KOL, right? You can write the name KOL Mogo Rob. Okay, Mogo Rob. This guy was there. He gave basically 3 axioms, right? That you have to understand. You can pronounce his name. I'm not able to pronounce, right? So you can say that, right? Call Mogo Rob, you can say, right? So he gave this probability. He said that the probabilities are greater than 0 always, right? It can be equal to 0. It can be greater than 0. Means what? The probability of any event should be what? It should be non-negative. Non-negative. Remember. So never talk about negative probabilities. Remember, always consider that the probabilities are positive. Probability of the event is positive, right? Because you know probability is assigned to an event. आपको ये हमेशा याद रखना है. ये बहुत important point है, right? Okay, this is very first point that you have to understand. And the second point that he talked about is this guy. Okay, we call it you can say Mogorov axioms only, right? But we don't. Nobody talks about this, right? Okay, this guy gave this these are the 3 axioms he has given, and they became the foundation of probability theory, right? And they are also useful identities, you can say. So what it says that the probability of the sample space is equal to 1. Okay, suppose all the outcomes is there, all the outcomes, right? The probability of sample space should be always 1, right? Suppose you have got a sample space and there are all outcomes, all possible outcomes are there, and if you're going to find the probability of all sample space, that should be always 1, right? What is the meaning of that? The total probability should always be 1, right? Total probability, right? Suppose in one sample space there are 2 events, okay? So if you are finding the probability of one event has to happen, second event has to happen, right? If you sum them up, so answer should be 1. What is the meaning of this? The probability should always be less than or equal to 1. Okay, probability of any event cannot be greater than 1, guys. That is very important. Okay, this is also we call it if some events are sure. If something is sure, so probability of sure event is 1, right? That you have to always understand. And if some events are impossible events, right? Not that event has cannot happen, so we'll say probability of impossible event is gonna be 0, right? So this is very important to keep in mind. And one more axioms he has given is that suppose we have got the sample space here. You can say this is the sample space, and there is one event here, and there is one more event. You can say A event and B event. So what he says that the probability of A union B, right? Probability of A union B is going to be equal to the sum of the probability. The sum of the probability, right? The sum of the probability. Okay. This is very important to keep in mind. What he says was there are 2 events A and B in the sample space, and if you're going to find the probability of A union B, right? I will talk about what is the meaning of A union B. So just add 2 probabilities, but this is not always true, guys. These are the axioms. You have to accept it, right? So when it is true, when you have to say that when these 2 events are disjoint event, when A and B are disjoint, right? They are disjoint event, nothing is common between them, right? Remember, nothing is common between them. What is the meaning of that? Nothing is common means A intersection B, if you try to find, that should be what? Phi, okay? That should be phi. Nothing is common between 2 events. Keep in mind that these are called disjoint event, right? So for disjoint event, if you are trying to find probability of A union B, right? Okay, probability of A union B, at least one of the event has to occur. Probability of at least one of the event has to occur. So you have to just add probability of A plus probability of B. But don't do always. When you can do this, you can do only when 2 events are disjoint events. So these are the 3 initial beliefs. You can say these are the 3 basic truths that you have to always consider, right? So if two events are mutually exclusive, right? Or you can say that they are disjoint event, right? Okay, they are disjoint event or mutually exclusive event, you can say. So this is going to happen. Okay, this is very important to understand. So mutually exclusive or disjoint event, both are same only. So probability of A union B is going to be sum of the probability. मान लो वहां पर तीन ऐसे हैं, probability of A union B union C, right? A union B union C, so you can add three probabilities, right? This is very, very important to keep in mind. I think this is clear for all, yeah? Yes, guys. So please confirm once if you have understood so that we can move ahead. Yeah, these are the three axioms that you have to believe, right? ठीक है, ये तीनों एक्सियोम्स को आपको हमेशा याद रखना है. यूजिंग दीज थ्री एक्सियोम्स यू कैन डिराइव एनीथिंग, राइट? अंडरस्टूड? So these three axioms are formally called the what? You can say called Mogorov axioms, right? Because he has given only three axioms, okay? And they are considered to be the foundation of probability theory, okay? And they are also very useful identities, you can say, right? So so you can convince yourself of the first axioms by thinking about what? The math definition of probability. Like probability is always positive, right? And probabilities are lying between 0 and 1, right? So this is very, very important to keep in mind, right? Fine. Okay, so these three is very, very important, right? So suppose we have got one sample space here. Just I'm going to talk about here. Suppose this is one event and this is second event, right? Event A and event B, you can say, right? So suppose you want to find the probability of A union B, right? Okay, probability of A union B. What is the meaning of that? If you want to find probability of A union B, मतलब क्या है कि you want to find the probability of A, at least one of the event has to occur, right? At least one of the event means one event can occur, two event can occur, right? That is very important to keep in mind, right? So A union B means at least one of the event has to occur, right? That is very important. So we can say that yes, from the axioms we know probability of A plus probability of B, right? That we know. Let us say that these two events are not mutually exclusive, right? So what you have done here is you have overcounted things, right? You see, you have found out the probability of A and you have found out the probability of B, but you have overcounted something here. You see, you have overcounted this thing, right? You have overcounted how many times? You have overcounted two times, right? The common probability between A and B, right? Common probability. So you have counted two times, so you need to subtract. Correction is very important, right? So the same concept we are using is overcounting and correcting. Okay, overcounting and correcting. This is the concept that is very, very important. Okay, correcting, right? So you have to subtract probability of A intersection B, right? Only one time you have to subtract. Why? Because when you were finding probability of A, so you have taken one time probability of A intersection B. Fine. The common probability also you have considered, right? Then if you are writing probability of B or you are finding the probability of B, again you are counting what? Probability of A intersection B, right? A intersection B, you can say. So two times you have counted, right? So if you have done over counting, so you need to correct it. I think this is clear for all, right? So you will never forget. And now if those two events are mutually exclusive, or you can say they are disjoint events, what will happen here? What will happen? Tell me. The probability, this guy will be 0, right? Okay, so that will correspond to the third axioms which we have seen, right? So ये आपको basic truth याद रखना है हमेशा. The basic truth, okay, these are the basic truth. Based on these three basic truth, we can always find anything in our life, right? Okay, so I think this is clear for all, right? Understood? Fine. So let me talk about here. We will write here okay, some of the basic simple consequences, okay, of the axioms. Suppose here I am writing axioms here, right? Suppose this is axioms, and what are the consequences? Consequences. So if someone says that the axioms are like probability of A should be greater than or equal to probability of G, probability of an event A has to be greater than or equal to 0. What is the meaning of that? What will be the consequence? You can always say that, sir, probability of A should be less than 1, right? Directly you can say, okay? If it is positive, okay, so you can say it should be also less than 1, right? These are the consequences. And suppose I say that probability of a sample space is going to be 1. So you can say that what will be the probability of empty set? That will be 0, right? These are the consequences you can directly say, right? I hope this makes sense to all, right? So for disjoint event, as I said that for disjoint event, probability of A union B, the meaning is that what? At least one of the event occur. Okay, you have to write these things for yourself so that you understand, right? Inside that probability of that bracket, that is meaning A union B means at least one of the event. A union B union C means at least one of the event, right? Please remember. So it is going to be what? Probability of A plus probability of B. And it is not always true, guys. Please remember, it is not always true. ठीक है, ये बेसिक एग्जाम्स हैं, इनके बेसिस में आप कुछ भी कर सकते हो अपने लाइफ में, ये सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है, ठीक है। तो मान लो आपके पास क्या है, 3 इवेंट्स हैं, ऐसा हम ले लेते हैं। मान लो आपके पास 3 इवेंट्स हैं, तो प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ ए यूनियन प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ ए इंटरसेक्शन बी इंटरसेक्शन सी क्या हो जाएगा, सम ऑफ द प्रोबेबिलिटी। Okay, and when it is true, it is only true when, okay, when A and B and C are mutually exclusive, or you can say disjoint events, right? When you can add 3 probabilities, that you have to keep in mind. Okay, I'll talk about future. I'll talk about some some mathematics, okay, in future, right? Suppose when events are not mutually exclusive, right? It is always not true, right? And when events are not disjoint, so how can we find out the probability, right? That is very important. But in future, you don't have to use any sort of formula, right? In my class particularly, I'm just telling you for the sake of completeness. ठीक है, अब आपको मान लो यहाँ पर k इवेंट्स हैं, राइट? सो सपोज सिमिलरली फॉर k disjoint event, for k disjoint event, suppose there are k disjoint event, right? There are k disjoint events. What you can say here is that the probability of S1, S2 and so on Sk will be what? Probability of S1 plus probability of S2 plus and so on plus probability of Sk. So you are just adding the marginal probabilities. In future, you will come to know that these are simple probability. You can say ordinary probability, right? Probability of any event is just an ordinary probability, guys. क्योंकि आपको फ्यूचर में probability you have to also condition, okay? Condition. You have to understand the conditional probability, right? So these are just what kind of probability? These things, probability of A, probability of B. These are ordinary probability or simple probability, right? So these words you have to always note down, right? तो ये आप क्या कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर, sum of all probabilities, sum of all the individual event probabilities, right? Okay, and when you can do this, remember, when you can do this, when events are disjoint event, right? Events are disjoint event. It is very, very important to keep in mind. Understood? Okay, so let me take one we can also prove something. Okay, we can prove here. Suppose we have got a kind of proof, we can see quickly. Suppose this is a sample space, ठीक है? याद रखना, हम अपने सैंपल स्पेस को पार्टीशन करेंगे. What we will do, we will partition the sample space. In fact, in future, whatever topics you are going to learn, like Bayes theorem, multiplication rule, so you will always partition the sample space, because events has to occur in the sample space, ना? So there can be many events, है ना? तो आप देखोगे यहाँ पर कि I'm just dividing this. Suppose this is event A. So what will be this event? We call it complement of A, right? This is the complement of A, right? Complement of A. Okay. So this is also one event, right? Event is there and complement of the event. Okay. So please remember, so this is nothing but complement of the event. So you can say that A union B, A union A complement will be what? The sample space only, right? Okay. And we also say that A intersection A complement is going to be phi. So because these two are disjoint event, nothing is common between them. Okay, I hope this makes sense, right? So if you're going to take the, you just find out the probability here. The probability of this equal to probability of A union A complement is going to be 1. Okay, from the definition you can say, right? I hope this makes sense. Understood? So if this is going to be 1, what is the meaning of that? Probability of A plus probability of A complement, right? Okay, because since A and A complements are disjoint, so we can always write like this, sum of individual probabilities, right? And that is equal to 1, right? So what we can say from here, what is the probability of A complement, guys? 1 minus the probability of A. This is one proof you can say, right? Okay, so if someone is going to ask you what is the probability of A complement, right? So you will say 1 minus the total minus the probability of event. Okay. Understood? So in future you will understand these complement and all, okay, when we will solve the problem. But ये कैसे proof करते हैं, you can understand from here, right? I think this is clear. Okay. This is very important to understand, and this will be always, remember, always less than or equal to 1. ये आपको याद रखना है total. Okay. Why it is less than? Because we are subtracting from 1 minus probability of A. Why we are doing 1 minus? Because we know that the total probability cannot be greater than 1. Right? So always remember these points. Yeah. Okay. So guys, tell me what is the probability of sample space? The probability of sample space is going to be what? 1. We know that. And plus, if I'm going to add probability of sample space ka complement of the sample space, okay, that you have to understand, right? So it will be what is this? It is empty set, right? Your entire set is full, right? All the outcomes are inside the sample space. Outside the sample space, that is the empty space, right? Empty set, right? You can say that this is nothing but what? This is going to be probability of empty set, right? Which is 1. So you can say that probability of this is going to be equal to, okay, it is very important. Okay, so this is nothing but what? It is 1 only. So plus, okay, you can say 1 minus 1, which is 0. So this is also one second proof I have given you, right? Please remember. ये भी proof है. You guys can prove always, right? Proof is also important. Fine. So I think this is clear for all. Okay. So how many of you understood these points, the basic axioms which I have told you? Okay. How many of you understood this? So that we can move ahead and try to define the probability, right? I mean, try to understand. Okay. Yes. So we will see different types of events. Okay. Equally likely events. We have seen disjoint events. Okay. हम लोग और भी टाइप के इवेंट देखेंगे, मतलब इवेंट का क्या क्या प्रॉपर्टीज है. ओके. I hope this makes sense to all, and yes. So now we will solve some questions. Yeah. तो एक बार कंफर्म करेंगे इन चैट बॉक्स, लाइक आपको सारा कंफर्म हो गया ना, आपको बेसिक ट्रूथ के बारे में पता चल गया. दैट यू हैव टू बिलीव, है ना. आपको हमेशा बिलीव करना है कि हाँ, ये अगर हमें आता है तो आप पूरा कर सकते हो. ठीक है. तो आगे जैसे जैसे आप चलोगे तो बन जाएगा. ठीक है. जैसे मान लो आपको एक और मैं बता देता हूँ. मान लो इवेंट्स आर नॉट डिसजॉइंट. ठीक है. 2 इवेंट का तो आपको पता चल गया. मान लो ऐसा है, प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ ए, प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ बी, प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ सी. ठीक है. अब इसका हमें कैसे लिखना है? ठीक है. तो आपको समझना पड़ेगा. आपको पहले तो सम कर दो, प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ ए, प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ बी, प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ सी. ठीक है. देखो यहाँ पर मैं बस बना देता हूँ 3 इवेंट्स. ये सेट है, सेट ए, सेट बी एंड सेट सी. ठीक है. ए बी सी, राइट. तो अब क्या करोगे आप? यहाँ पर आप क्या किए हो? देखो, what you have done here is, what we have done, probability of A, probability of B, probability of C, right? Understood? So you have added here. Now what we will do, how many times you have counted here? You see guys, you have counted here between this you have counted one time, okay, matlab 2 times you have counted, so you need to subtract also. So probability of A intersection B, probability of A intersection C, probability of A intersection B intersection C, right? You have to subtract, ठीक है. If you have done over counting, it means you have to subtract. Now this has already corrected everything, okay, but this is the point, right? This is the point, okay. You see here guys, this is the point, okay. This we did not include it till now because they have corrected everything right here. When we are writing probability of A, so probability of A, so we are considering this also, ठीक है. ये भी हम लोग कंसीडर कर रहे हैं, याद रखना, ठीक है. जब हम probability of A लिखते हैं तो we are also considering probability of A union B, probability of A union C, right? Okay, so probability of A we have written, but we have considered also this. Probability of B we have written, we have considered this. वो लिखा, 3 बार लिख दिया, राइट, और 3 बार करेक्शन भी कर दिया, ठीक है. तो फिर ये जो तीसरा एलिमेंट था, मान लो यहाँ पर है, ये तो सबके बीच में है ना, इसको तो आपको ऐड करना पड़ेगा यहाँ पर ना. ये लो, ये हमारा समझ आया क्या सबको? बताओ. When you are writing probability of A, so you are considering all the common probability of event occur, right? When you are writing probability of B, probability of C, so 3 times you have counted this. See, 3 times this. But by writing this, you have corrected already. Okay. But you need to also include the probability of all the event has to occur at the same time. ओके, सो ये फॉर्मूला है. तो आप किसी भी सिचुएशन का फॉर्मूला आप लिख सकते हो बाय योरसेल्फ, राइट. बस आपको एक कॉन्सेप्ट आना चाहिए, व्हाट, प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ ए, ओवर काउंटिंग एज वेल एज करेक्टिंग टेक्निक, जो मैंने आपको पीएनसी में बताई थी. तो आप अगर इसको कर ले जाते हो तो आपकी लाइफ ज्यादा सिंपल रहेगी, ठीक है. तो आई थिंक दिस इज क्लियर गाइस, ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, ठीक है. कुछ क्वेश्चंस करते हैं जिससे थोड़ा सा इंटरेस्टिंग, मतलब मतलब कुछ क्वेश्चंस करते हैं तो आपको समझ आएगा. फिर हम लोग क्वेश्चन कैसे करेंगे, प्रॉब्लम बेस्ड ऑन पीएनसी, प्रॉब्लम बेस्ड ऑन क्लासिकल प्रोबेबिलिटीज, राइट. तो अभी हम अगर डिफाइन करें क्लासिकल प्रोबेबिलिटी, मतलब अगर हम बात करते हैं क्लासिकल डेफिनेशन ऑफ प्रोबेबिलिटी की, जो आप लोगों को पता है, क्लासिकल डेफिनेशन ऑफ प्रोबेबिलिटी. Okay, we'll come back to the properties of events like equally likely, non-equally likely, independent events. बहुत सारी बात करेंगे, बट अभी थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम करते हैं, राइट. तो क्लासिकल डेफिनेशन क्या कहता है, मान लो आपको किसी भी इवेंट की प्रोबेबिलिटी निकालना है, मतलब प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ इवेंट निकालना है, तो क्या करते हैं हम लोग हमेशा, वी पुट देम इन द रेशियो. यू सी, कि बोलते हैं कि टोटल नंबर ऑफ, यू कैन से हियर, टोटल नंबर ऑफ आउटकम्स, एंड न्यूमरेटर में क्या लिखते हैं, नंबर ऑफ फेवरेबल आउटकम्स, ओके. दिस इज द क्लासिकल डेफिनेशन ऑफ प्रोबेबिलिटी, राइट. क्लासिकल, आपके पास कोई भी टोटल सैंपल स्पेस गिवन है, राइट, एंड दे आर आस्किंग यू टू कंप्यूट द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ एनीथिंग, राइट. सो आप उसको ऊपर लिखोगे नंबर ऑफ, अंडरस्टूड, number of that favorable outcome upon total, matlab total number. Okay, so you can simply take the ratio, you will get the probability. It is very simple to understand. Okay, और एक कॉन्सेप्ट और आएगा, याद रखना, ये तो क्लासिकल डेफिनेशन, राइट. एक कॉन्सेप्ट और आता है, हम उसको क्या बोलते हैं, ऑड्स इन फेवर एंड ऑड अगेंस्ट. फिर जब ऐसी सिचुएशन होगी कि ऑड्स इन फेवर एंड ऑड अगेंस्ट, राइट. सो ऑड्स इन फेवर ऑफ एन इवेंट क्या होता है, ऑड्स इन फेवर ऑफ एन इवेंट इज नथिंग बट व्हाट, इट विल बी बेसिकली व्हाट, द नंबर ऑफ फेवरेबल केसेस अपॉन number of unfavorable cases. Okay, understood. This is very important. And odds in against odds against in an event, you can say. event, you can say here, will be equal to what? It will be number of unfavorable cases. Okay, it is not a probability basically, right? ये probability नहीं है, ये odds against odds in favor, right? ये kind of event है. So question में ये दिया रहेगा and you have to find the probability, right? तो probability क्या होता है? Probability is nothing but unfavorable, sorry, favorable upon total. In total there will be favorable plus unfavorable, right? That you have to always keep in mind. In total what will be there? Total means fav plus unfav, राइट. ये तो इवेंट की बात हो रही है कि ऑड्स इन फेवर ऑफ एन इवेंट क्या होता है? फेवरेबल अपॉन अनफेवरेबल. ऑड्स अगेंस्ट इन एन इवेंट क्या होता है? नंबर ऑफ अनफेवरेबल केसेस एंड नंबर ऑफ फेवरेबल. जस्ट वी हैव स्विच्ड the numerator and denominator. Please remember these 3 points. ठीक है. So I think this is clear. तो आपको if you know the probability, so you can find odds in favor of an event and you can find odds against in. Okay, that is very important to. Now एक concept हम आपको बताएंगे क्या? एक problem हम लोग लेते हैं. The very first question that I am going to pick up here is, okay, very easy question in fact, right? See, I will not take the question from like flipping a coin. अगर आप coin को flip करते हो तो certainly you know that the probability of getting head is half. The probability of getting tail is half only, right? Okay, that everybody knows. So what I'm going to talk here is I will ask you the question: what is the sum? What is the probability of getting sum? You can say sum as 7 when we roll what? When you can say two die are rolled. Okay, this is a question. Okay, so you guys, whenever this kind of question is given कि sum 7 की probability क्या है? Sum 7 means what? You will roll one die, right? You will roll one die. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 you will get, right? And then you will roll second die, right? So you will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Sorry, 6, right? Now you have to add. Okay? So first, suppose you are rolling first die, you got 1. Second die, you got 1. So what is the total sum? You got 2 here, right? Okay. So we have to see, okay, what is the probability of getting 7? So we have to find all the ordered pair, all the number of favorable and total total outcomes, right? So you can say here, just I'm going to draw this rectangle so that you guys can understand. So you can say this is going to be your like this. So how many outcomes will be there total? You can say 6 by 6, right? Okay. You can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, and 6. So I'm not able to draw properly. You guys can draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this will be basically 1, 1. Okay. This is 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 1 and 4. Okay, you guys can feel it. Okay, this is 2, 2, 3, 3, right? 4, 4, 5, 5, right? And this is 6, 6. What is the maximum sum that you can get always? Maximum sum will be 6 plus 6, right? That is 12. So I will not recommend you to do like this. Okay, you should know how to construct the sample space, right? This is only the sample space that we are talking about, sample space. Okay, and total number of element in the sample space will be 36 because there are 2 dice. Okay, you are rolling them, right? That you have to always keep in mind. What I will suggest here is you have to understand something here. See, the minimum sum that you can get is 2. The maximum sum that you can get is 12. Please remember this. Okay, the minimum sum, okay, when you roll 2 die is you are going to get is 2, right? The maximum sum you are going to get is 12. Okay. So what you have to understand here is, suppose we have got, see, we will get some 2, we will get some 3, some 4, some 5, some 6, some 7, some 8, okay, some 9, some you can say 10, some 11, some 12. I think you guys can write like this quickly. Okay, whenever some question will be there, sum of 2 outcomes should be 7, right? And what is the probability of sum of two outcome is going to be 7. Okay, when you roll two die. So you have to first write like this. Okay, these are the sum. Okay, these are the sum, you can say sum. Sum will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In this cycle you can write, okay, like this. Now always remember, only one ordered pair will be there for these two. Okay, only one ordered pair means 1, 1 or 6, 6, 6. For 12 there is only one favorable outcome, that is 6 and 6. You can find in entire sample space only one outcome is going to be there. So for 2, 1, for 12, 1, right? For 3 and for 11 there will be only 2. This is 1, this is 2, then this is 3, this is 4, this is 5 and this is 6. तो मान लो क्वेश्चन क्या आता है, प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ सम 7, तो क्या आंसर आएगा, टोटल 36 एंड हियर 6. मान लो कोई क्वेश्चन पूछता है प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ सम 9 क्या होगा, सर 4/36, तो 1/9. सर प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ सम 5 क्या होगा, सर 4/36, that is 1/9. Okay, so you guys can solve this kind of question in fraction of second, right? Fraction of second. आपको time waste ही नहीं करना है. But you will find in the market, right, on YouTube channels, okay, life will be very tough. Okay, life will be very tough, and I will help you guys where you can use this concept. Okay, where you can use this kind of a concept. Okay, in future when we will talk about random variable, and there will be two random variable and we have to find the expectation of them, right? At that time these concepts are very useful, right? Quickly you should know. Okay, suppose someone is going to ask you what is the probability of getting sum 4. देखो अगर कोई पूछता है कि probability of getting sum 4, तो आप कैसे निकालोगे, सीधा आप लिखो 2, 3, 4, तो 1, 2, 3, आंसर कितना है 3/36. Okay, how many of you understood this technique? And this is the verified technique. Okay, remember it is not artificial or something. Okay, we have counted, okay, all the favorable outcomes and we have written like this. Okay, how many of you understood? Please let me know fast. I hope you guys can solve based on some problem very quickly. You know, it will not take much time. Okay. Fine. So suppose someone is going to ask you, what is the probability of getting sum 10? बताओ. Probability of getting sum 10. When you roll two, when you roll two dice. Yeah, anyone? क्या होगा बताओ fast. You know, this is 4, 5, 6, 7 here you have to write. Okay, 8, 9 and then 10, 11, 12, right? So you can say that ये 3 ही आएगा, favorable 3/36. So anyone, those who are not good at probability, they can do, right? You don't have to go for counting and something, you just count and waste your time. You just try to find the you know, all the ordered pair and waste your time. Just remember this for the quick calculation, right? Okay, this is very important to keep in mind. चलो एक क्वेश्चन करते हैं फास्ट. One question let us try to do. Write down the question here. Second question. This was asked in mains 21. Right? The question is, two dice are rolled. Two dice are rolled. See how fast we can solve this question, right? Solving question is also very important. Okay, if you have understood everything. Two dice are rolled. Okay? If both dice have 6 faces, if both dice have 6 faces, okay, like one, numbered as, you can say numbered as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. ये क्वेश्चन लॉन्ग करने का तरीका है. ओके, सॉरी, 1 minute guys, wait. Two dice are rolled if both dice have 6 faces numbered as what, 1, 2, 3, okay, 5, 7 and 11. Okay. These are the number they have given, right? Please remember this. So, and then the probability that the sum of the number on top faces, and then the probability that, okay, the sum of the number on the top faces, okay, is less than, okay, less than or equal to 8. So what is the question here, guys? Again, see here the question. The question says that two dices are ruled, right? And if both dices have 6 faces, numbered 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, right? Then the probability that the sum of the number on the top faces is less than or equal to 8. So what they are asking is sum should be less than or equal to 8. So this is one event, you can say. See, whenever we are trying to define the event, you see we are using some sort of a inequality, right? Okay, understood. So please tell me what is the answer here, guys. How can we solve this? कैसे solve करेंगे? Now this dias is not the standard dias, you can say, right? This dias is different dias. Okay, so what we have to do here is always you have to draw this, right? यहाँ पर draw करना पड़ेगा. क्या करोगे? 1, then 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, right? 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, right? I think this is clear. Okay, now what we will do here is we have to sum them up, right? Okay, see how fast we have to do this is very important. तो आप इसको ऐसे कर लो. Okay, so you see guys, see अभी स्टैंडर्ड डाइस होता तो सेकंड में आंसर आ जाता, राइट? बट मैनी पीपल विल लीव दिस क्वेश्चन. ओके, तो सम अगर करोगे तो कितना रहा? 2 आ गया, ये है ना. 1 + 1 कितना? 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, sorry, it will be 6, not 5. 6, then 8, then 11 + 1, 12. I think this is clear, right? But हमें ये तो लेना नहीं है, इसको हमें नहीं चाहिए. We will not talk about that. Okay, sum should be 8 or less than 8. That's it. Okay, understood. Then इसको आप ले लो. Understood. So ये भी आपको याद रखना है. 3, 4, then ये कितना हो जाएगा? 3 + 2, 5, and then 5 + 2, 7, and then 7. ये नहीं, no. Understood. See, crosses will be there. Okay, crosses will be there, but they will be counted in total outcomes, right? जहां पर आपको favorable outcome count करना है, right? So you have to do like this. And this is a very good question. 3 + 1, 4. फिर ये कितना आ जाएगा? 5, 6, and then 8. No. I think this is clear for all, right? ये याद रखना. फिर ये कितना है? 5 + 1, 5 + 1, 6. ये नहीं, चलो आ जाओ. 4, 5, 6, and 8, right? Sorry, not this is 7 basically, no? So I have written here, it looks like 3, right? So it should be 7. So 8 here, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, fine. Then ये नहीं आएगा, अभी ये भी नहीं आएगा. चलो आ जाओ. तो आंसर क्या है बताओ, फास्ट बताना. काउंट कर लो, टोटल कितना है बताओ. टोटल कितने आउटकम्स, मतलब टोटल आएंगे. टोटल आउटकम्स कितने आने वाले हैं? टेल मी. तो 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 × 6 मतलब 36. ठीक है, और ये कितने हैं? काउंट करो भैया. इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू काउंट, राइट? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. ओके, और एक आ गया 17. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू अंडरस्टूड दिस क्वेश्चन? बताओ. ये एक विजुअलाइजेशन करना है आपको. आई होप दिस मेक्स सेंस टू ऑल. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू अंडरस्टूड दिस? तो मान लो कि इफ यू हैवंट बीन गिवन स्टैंडर्ड डायस, राइट, सो यू माइट फील दैट oh, this shortcut is failed, right? तो आपको ऐसे विजुलाइज करना है, जो आपका फेवरेबल है दैट यू हैव टू ओनली कंसीडर, अनफेवरेबल को भूल जाओ, you just mark them cross, right? It is just like we are solving reasoning question, right? Reasoning questions, okay? So you have to always go for reasoning type reasoning question. I hope this makes sense. This is one type of question. This was asking M21, right? Please remember this, okay? I hope everybody understood this, huh? Yes. So classical definition of probability will be what? Probability of the equally likely outcome, you can say. The number of outcomes in the event upon number of outcomes in the sample space, right? ये भी एक definition आप बता सकते हो हमेशा, right? So probability of equally likely event. Equally likely means what? Equally likely means that there is an equal chance that head can occur and tail can occur. Like, okay, just like we have got a dice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So probability of getting 1 is 1 by 6, probability of getting 2 is 1 by 6, right? So they are equally likely event, right? So definition is going to be what? Definition will be simple. Definition is nothing but you can say probability of suppose event E is there, uski probability this is the equally likely event, you can say equally likely, okay, equally likely event, and you have got the sample space. So you have to first count what? Number of, okay, number of element in the sample space and number of, you can say this mod of E means number of element in the event. So probability of an event will be what? The number of outcome in the event upon number of outcome in the sample space. This is the basic definition, or you can say what? Classical definition that I have told you right now, right? Okay. So in this manner you can solve anything, right? Okay. And suppose you have got a sample space, right? Suppose you have got a sample space, right? Or you can say sample space is given and all events are equally likely. Matlab all, I say all events are equally likely. Okay, equally likely. Then how to find the probability, right? So suppose you want to find the probability of an outcome. Probability of an outcome will be what? Can someone tell me what will be the probability of an outcome? एक outcome की probability क्या होगी? So that can be written as 1 upon the number of element in the sample space. So this is very important to keep in mind, right? Number of element in the sample space. So 1 upon number of element in the sample space. जैसे example ले लेते हैं. In example, suppose you have got a sample space, you are tossing a coin, head and tail. So what is the probability of getting head? मतलब an outcome. एक outcome की probability क्या हो जाएगी? 1 by 2. Why 1 by 2? Because number of element in the sample space is 2 and both events are equally likely, right? Head can occur or tail can occur, right? So 1 upon 2. Understood? Suppose you have got a sample space of rolling one die 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. अब कोई पूछता है कि what is the probability of getting 1? 1 upon number of element in the sample space. कितने? Because all elements are equally likely, right? So these are the examples of events which are equally likely, right? So 1, 2, 3. So यहाँ पर कितना है? 1 by 6. Okay. There should not be any kind of confusion. I think this is clear for all. Yeah. So ये याद रखना. This is very very important to keep in mind. Please remember guys, these are the very important point that you have to always keep in mind so that you guys can do okay. So yeah, so this is all about today's session, right? So first I talked about the axioms, okay. Then I discussed some of the basic concept on probability, right? I mean, some of the basic definitions, and one problem we have done quickly, right? And one problem also we have done which was not from the standard dias, okay? और हम लोग exclusion principle की बात किए थे. This was exclusion principle, and we have also discussed about inclusion and exclusion principle. Okay, principle. ये थोड़ा नया नाम रहता है, but it is the same only. That is, probability of A union probability of B is going to be probability of A plus probability of B. Okay, understood? So you have just included everything. Now you have to exclude something. What you have to exclude? This. तो चाहे आप ओवर काउंटिंग एंड करेक्टिंग बोलो, चाहे आप इंक्लूजन एंड एक्सक्लूजन प्रिंसिपल बोलो, दिस इंक्लूजन एंड एक्सक्लूजन प्रिंसिपल विल बी अप्लाइड व्हेन द probabilities are like events are not disjoint or equally I mean you can say mutually exclusive events, right? So please remember this is very important to keep in mind, right? So what we are doing is we are subtracting, right? We are subtracting what we have over counted, right? Okay, this is very very important to keep in mind, guys. And you can go on talking about many things, right? Okay, I think this is clear for all. How many of you understood this? So we will take more problem, guys. We will try to understand in the next session what we are going to do. We will see the basic math, okay, which is needed to understand probability theory, right? And then we will solve problem based on PNC and problem based on you can say infinite GP based probability. So many things we are going to discuss. Okay, then we will also talk about different types of events, right? Different types of events, जैसे कि independent events, right? What is independent events? But before independent event we will talk about conditional probabilities, right? क्योंकि कंडीशनिंग, अगर आप कोई भी चीज को कंडीशन करते हो लाइफ में, कंडीशनिंग इफ यू आर गोइंग टू डू, मतलब व्हाट विल हैपन, विल सी दैट. ओके, तो बट आपको एक कॉन्सेप्ट हमेशा याद रखना है, डिस्क्रिप्शन, सीक्वेंशियल डिस्क्रिप्शन का कॉन्सेप्ट. ओके, जैसे मैंने आपको लीनियर अलजेब्रा में एक ही कॉन्सेप्ट बताया है पूरे लीनियर अलजेब्रा में, दैट वाज एलिमिनेशन, राइट? गॉस एलिमिनेशन अगर आपको आता है तो पूरा लीनियर अलजेब्रा डन है, राइट? इन दिस केस you have to understand these basic points. ठीक है, तो those who have any sort of doubt they can always reach to me, guys. Thank you so much for today. We'll meet in the next session because 1 घंटे का सेशन हो चुका है, so we have to limit always for one session, right? Thank you. ठीक है, take care and keep learning. Okay, we'll bring more sessions. ठीक है.